to be here in partnership with FAO, with EBRD, and the European Commission for Georgia. We're very excited as Olam to be partnering this beautiful conference, and I can see that a lot of growers and farmers are attending this, so I hope it will be useful for everyone who's taking part. I just want to ask a question before I start my presentation. I work in Olam International. Can you raise your hand if you heard Olam and if you know what Olam does? Not bad. So we will see after my presentation how many hands will raise. So I would like to give brief information about our company. So we are a leading food and agribusiness. We source raw materials and transform them into food, feed, and fiber. We have around approximately 20,000 customers all worldwide. We are farmers, so I can see that there's Georgians. Different products and in 13 countries. But at the same time, we are suppliers, so we work with small farm holders and farmers. We work around 4.8 million farmers around the world. We have our own facilities, so we process food. We have around 170 facilities. We focus on safety, fairness, quality, and efficiency in our facilities. We're also innovators. We have our own global innovation centers where we offer added value solutions to our customers. So how does Olam started? We're a relatively young company. We first started with actually cashew nut. So today, so our first product was cashew in Nigeria in 1989 with a revenue of 2 million Singapore dollars with 2 employees. In 10 years, we moved to 10 products in 20 countries with 1.6 billion Singapore dollars revenue with 1,500 employees. And today, celebrating actually our 30th year, we have reached to 46 products. It's more than 60 countries with 30.5 billion Singapore dollars with 74,000 employees. We have 46 products. I'm not going to count all those products that we do, but we have 5 main portfolio, and we work in edible nuts and spices, where today's actually conference. It's under edible nuts. We have almonds, cashews, hazelnuts, peanuts, pistachios, walnuts, and all other spices. Then we are in cocoa and coffee business, in confectionery and beverage ingredients. We have food staples and packaged foods, where we have businesses in edible oils, dairy, and rice. And we also have cotton and rubber business under industrial raw materials. And at the end, our last portfolio is commodity and financial services, where we do fund management and risk management systems. So what is our aspiration? Our governing objective is, of course, to maximize long-term intrinsic value for our continuing shareholders. However, what is our vision? If you look at our vision, is to be the most differentiated and valuable global food and agribusiness by 2040. We believe in this, and we think for this vision to become a reality, we have a purpose, and our purpose is to reimagine global agriculture and food systems. And I told you how we what our portfolios are. So we are leadership in most of our portfolio. I'm not going to go into detail in all of our leadership positions, but in edible nuts, we're the #1 global.
Specifies the question. Do we have the same aflatoxin problem in this product? Do we have
the #1 global cashew supplier in the world. If you look at cocoa beans, we supply cocoa beans and cocoa products globally.
So if you can control navel, orangeworm, and other pests, you minimize.
Sessions. But how all these come together? So our purpose is reimagining global agriculture and food systems. However, we think that sustainability is the heart of our business. So we think that sustainability is the right thing to do. So we focus all our business on sustainability. We have 3 outcomes of our purpose, which we think that It's the prosperous farmers and food systems. We have to focus on communities, the local communities that thrive them. So it's a social aspect. The first one was on the economic aspect. And the third is the regeneration of the living world, actually focusing on the environment. And under these three outcomes, we focus on 10 material areas. And these 10 material areas are going hand in hand with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. You can see on the chart, so I'm not going to go into details. So to support all these things, we have policies and procedures and standards in place in our farms, in our plantations, in our suppliers, and in our factories and facilities. And it's a pleasure for me to talk about one slide on AdSource, because this is a new initiative that Olam is running globally for our customers. So AdSource is actually a digital platform where all our customers, with one click, can access information of their deliveries on all their products about their environmental and social impact. So they can follow their product from farm to
On which crops, and if you do that, you're all often not able to spray when you need to spray for insects and things. So it creates more problems than benefits for us. Some growers plant
the customer the information that they can receive. The entry tier is a base.
when they're young, but it's hard to manage. It creates water management problems generally when you do that. And insect problems as well. Yeah.
Impact that Olam and the customer is running on the field.
Which we are looking in the Georgian condition, we have problems with the wet soil sometimes.
Map. This is Olam's edible nuts footprint. So we're in peanuts.
Data, we have found out that we have some of the periods, it's like April, May, sometimes September, October, where we have quite rainy days. And for this moment, we have problems with the Phytophthora things, sometimes in verticilia. And what about your experience?
Mainly in Turkey and Georgia. Sorry, hazelnuts are in Turkey and
Georgia. It's quite suitable for the almond. What is the experience regarding of the Krimsk rootstocks for wet soils? Thank you.
So let's talk about hazelnut specifically.
I think probably 90% of the plantings for the last 5 years in north of Davis in the Sacramento Valley have been on crimps, so we'll probably see that pretty soon. Most of them are still fair.
Parts are the countries who are producing the most of the hazelnuts. So starting from the right, it's Azerbaijan, Georgia, Turkey, Italy, Spain, and then moving to United States, Oregon, and then going.
And really, in my observation is that was related to poor water.
All those, the green countries, you can see it's where the climate is, it's the equatorial line, so where the hazelnut is mostly produced in that climate. So let's look at some numbers of specifically on hazelnuts. So this is this year's estimation, 2019, 20. 50,000 metric tons kernel terms. So this graph is of a kernel terms. So if you want to calculate it in shells, you have to multiply it by 2. So it shows that producer is Italy with 9%. The third is United States with 3%. Actually, United States and Azerbaijan are very close with 3%. If you look at the data, which is 17,500 United States and 16,800, which is very close to Azerbaijan. Then 2.5 and 2.5, Chile and Georgia are go together as well, so they're very close, so they can be in the fourth place together. So this gives an overall look at the hazelnut production. So if we look at past and make an analysis, so let's look at the past 10 years. So starting from 2008 crop year till this year, we can see that there is an overall 5% increase of production on the average of 10 years. So it means that hazelnut production in the world is increasing every year. And this is also in kernel terms. So I would talk about some imports. So we looked at the production, so let's look at the imports. And we looked at we looked at 2007 and then 2017 year graph, and we can see each country's imports in shell basis. So these are metric tons, does this work? I would focus on only a couple of countries where we can, have a participant asking China, so we can look at China. If you look at China in 2007, they have an import value of 766 metric tons, and in 2017, it's 4 times, it increased 4 times and becoming 2,860. Let's look at another country, for example, Canada. Let's look at Canada. Canada in 2007, their import was 3,291. In 2017, it's 4 times, it increased 4 times and become almost 11,676. Let's look at Brazil, for example. In Brazil, the imports have rose to from 1,375 to 3,000 metric tons. What does this figures mean? It means that the numbers in imports are growing as well. So production is growing and the imports are growing. So does the consumption. So people eat more nuts, more hazelnuts, I can talk. So this chart is the consumption per capita per person. So if we look at the overall totals from 2013 to 2017, in the world, the total consumption of hazelnut increased 20%. 20% is a big number in 4 years. So a lot of hazelnut has been consumed by us. So what does this mean? In the world, hazelnut production increases, imports increases, people eat more hazelnuts. So as Olam, we have our own hazelnut operations. We have in 2 countries, so in Turkey and in Georgia. In Turkey, you can see the green areas, the dark green areas are where the hazelnut is produced. So it's around 750,000 hectares are hazelnut areas. And for Georgia, you can see on the top in the West Georgia where the hazelnuts are mainly produced. So as Olam, we have our own cracking facility. So we buy from small farm holders. We crack the hazelnut in our own facilities, and then we have an integrated processing plant. So we process the hazelnut into different types of hazelnut. And we have, I will go into the Georgia plants in more detail. So just a quick overview of the Turkey's crop. So in Turkey there are 3 different varieties of hazelnuts. So it's Giresun, Levant, and Akçakoca. You can see the yearly variations of hazelnut. You will see that there is a decline in 2014, which is because of the frost. So there was a big frost in hazelnuts Turkey, so the volumes dropped dramatically. So this year the crop is estimated around 7,770, which is a lot. So if you look at hazelnuts in Georgia, Food and Agricultural Organization estimation is a growth story expected to reach 120,000 metric tons by 2025, which is very good. The key focus sector is agriculture, it's hazelnuts, so it's the most largest agricultural contributor to GDP in Georgia. There is an estimation around 700,000 farmers in all of agriculture. However, only 15 to 20% is assumed to be working on hazelnuts, so planting hazelnuts. There are 44 exporters in Georgia, which we think that they're registered 44, but there are around 70 exporters. There are crackeries, 153 crackeries overall, and there are also middlemen. So middlemen who buy from farmers and sell to crackeries. There are around 800 to 1,200 middlemen in Georgia. So our Olam, Georgia is based in Zugdidi. You can see some of the photos in our plant. We have an integrated processing factory, so we have a crackery as well as an integrated plant. We have around 400 employees working in our peak season. So we believe quality and safety is very important, and I will go into detail in coming slides why we need to invest in quality and safety. We have 8 staff working only on this, and we have around 31 administrative staff. Our processing plant capacity, 15,000 metric tons in shells, cracking capacity, and for the processing volumes, we have around 3,000 metric tons annual capacity. Certifications are very important. We have ISO 45001, which we are the first food ingredients manufacturer in Georgia to receive these certificates. We have other certificates such as BRC, Kosher, FFSC 23000, and Halal certificates. So what do we do with those hazelnuts? We crack them, we turn into kernels. We call them naturals. Or we roast them and export them as roasted. Blanch them, make them white. We have paste. We have roasted and diced. And as we discussed, it's flour. So it's more of the minced. So, what are the customer expectations? Actually, why we're talking about edible nuts, why nuts increases, the production increases, import increases, people consume more. As you can see, I have some newspaper articles here. For example, the first one is, actually it was from yesterday in the US-based article. It says, just a handful of nuts may help keep us from packing in the pounds as we age. So if you want to be on a healthy diet, they say eat nuts. So there's a tendency in the actually new generation to consume more nuts for healthy diet, for health and nutrition. And also, customers and consumers, the end consumers, are under pressure because our supply chains are under pressure. They want to know where these hazelnuts are coming from. Consumers are becoming more conscious of who produces my food and how it is produced. Because the world is becoming ever more connected digitally, so everyone can just type in hazelnuts, where those are coming from, and what are the conditions those hazelnuts are produced. So you can see some of the articles are concerned about responsible sourcing, and are these hazelnuts sustainably produced? For example, there was a statistic saying that 88% of consumers would like brands to help them be more environmentally friendly and ethical in their daily lives. So what does this mean? So if we would like to market Georgian hazelnuts, so what should we look at? So yes, quality, and we said high quality is important, so that's how you produce it. However, responsible sourcing. So what we mean by responsible sourcing? Transparency on full supply chain, where these hazelnuts are coming from, knowledge about the production and sharing it with the tiers of the supply, signing the customer supplier code, so commitment to sustainability. Traceability to farm level. So when you eat a snack, a bar of hazelnuts with snack, and there's a QR code, and you just scan the QR code, and you directly go to a farmer in Georgia who produced that hazelnut in the snack. So this is very important. So actually, people have ideas of what they're eating. You have to have policies for quality, for environment, for labor standards, and for health and safety. Certification is important for marketing. Some customers, they look for international standards and certifications. There are so many different certifications that especially European customers are looking for. There is an obligation to comply with international standards on labor and environment. And third-party verification is very important. So auditing, make sure that your hazelnuts are certified or produced in a sustainably manner. And of course, as I said in the beginning, improvement on quality and yield. If your hazelnuts quality and yield is good, then you're good on market. Thank you.
Thank you very much.